Good morning, everybody. This is week 3 Science Activate, and we are going to look through those questions here. So let's take a quick moment and check out question number 1. So in question number 1, we're looking at table 1 and we're looking at figure 1. Which of the color of light is associated with the wavelength of light that results in the greatest absorption by chlorophyll B? So we're looking for chlorophyll B. So here's table 1, and we're looking at colors. There's wavelengths. So we've got some colors and wavelengths that equal it. So let's look at chlorophyll B. So where's our line for chlorophyll B? It's the solid line over here. And so we've got these two lines, and it looks like we've got wavelength on the x-axis. We've got absorption on the y-axis, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking at absorption over here. So chlorophyll B is our solid line, and we're looking for the greatest absorption, which is right there. So what wavelengths of light is that? That's from here to here, maybe-ish, maybe from here to there. So that's around 450, crossing over 500. So from 450 to 500, that actually looks like blue light. So blue light is our answer. Next question. We now have the same chart here. We got figure 1 again, and we're looking in eukaryotic organisms, the chemical reactions associated with the chemical equation shown in the passage typically occur within which of the following structures? Okay, which of the following structures? Now, we've got the figure 1, and we've got this this table, and table 1 lists wavelength ranges for visible light and color frequently associated with each range. And so what are we looking at? We're looking at this equation, and if you don't know this equation, it's taking carbon dioxide and water and energy from the sun and turning it into sugar and oxygen and water. And so what are we doing here? We're actually, it looks like we're making sugars. And so we're making sugars and oxygens in this chemical reaction. And if you didn't know what organelle does this, what structure, we've got 4 structures here. And this is just basically a knowledge question. If you already know it, awesome. But if you don't, what can we get from our question here? So in eukaryotic organisms, we don't necessarily need to know what eukaryotic means, but we do read the question and we see, okay, we have words like chlorophyll and chlorophyll and 2 chlorophylls here. So if you didn't know anything about plants, but you saw that word chlorophyll, you might think, hey, our answer is chloroplast, because the chloro in that is the same, and you would actually be right, because the organelle inside a plant cell, the chloroplast, is going to do this chemical reaction to create sugar and oxygen. That's how plants create the oxygen that we breathe in from the carbon dioxide that we breathe out. So chloroplasts is our correct answer. So even if you don't know the correct answer and it doesn't look like it's directly in the information, you can still use it by inferring things about vocabulary that are in the question. That was a little bit harder because it wasn't all there. Question number 3. We got another picture here. We're looking at still photosynthesis, all right, at 670 nanometers. Let's see, average photosynthesis of various wavelengths as a percent of the average rate of photosynthesis at 760 nanometers. So it's a percentage now. Rate of photosynthesis percentage. So it looks like we have a higher percentage over here and a higher percentage over here and lower percentages down here. So that's something we might want to look at. Now let's read the question. In figure 2, at which of the following wavelengths does the rate of photosynthesis exceed the rate of photosynthesis at 670 nanometers? So we're looking for where does it exceed? And so at a percentage, if 100% is right here, the only places it exceeds are going to be above this line. So we've got a point right there, which is around 680. And we've got another around, let's see, that's 440-ish. 400 is lower. 430 is higher. So that one is going to be our answer. Let's just double check. 630. 630 is going to be right here. And 700 is going to be right here. And that's not going to happen. So 430 is our only place where it exceeds that percentage. Next question. Here's our chemical equation again. So we've got our carbon dioxide and our water, and energy from the sun gives us sugar and oxygen and more water. So in the chemical equation shown in the passage, the carbon in CO2 becomes part of which of the following types of molecules? Now, if you knew anything about plants, you can tell that, okay, here's the carbon in CO2. It's going to this molecule right here. That's where that carbon is going. You got 6 carbons, and now you have 6 carbons. So what molecule is this? Well, if you know anything about photosynthesis, you know that that is going to produce a sugar. And so we know that sugar is what's being produced. Those are our 4 basic macromolecules in biology, and so sugar is the one there. If you didn't know that, you do now. So sugar is there. You can also then tell well, you need to know that sugar has C, H, and O. It's a carbohydrate. So H2O is like water, C and H and O is a carbohydrate, which is sugars if you're looking at carbs. All right, last question. We've got our two graphs again. We've got our chlorophyll A on the dotted line, we got our chlorophyll B on the solid line, and then we've got our figure 2, which has the percent of the average of the rate at 760 nanometers. So we've got, let's see, which of the following conclusions is best supported by figures 1 and 2. The wavelength that results in the highest rate of photosynthesis also results in the what? So highest photosynthesis also results in what? So let's look at highest photosynthesis. If this is the rate of photosynthesis right here, the highest rate of photosynthesis is right down here. It's this 440. All right, so where is the 440 over here? The 440 is right in this area, which is the highest rate of absorption of chlorophyll A. So this is the highest rate of absorption for chlorophyll A. Well, there it is, the highest relative absorption by chlorophyll A. C should be our correct answer. All right, this batch of questions was a little bit harder than the others because it needed some knowledge that you needed previously. Now, most of that knowledge we could have gotten from other things, and a lot of it we could get from the context of our question and our passage. So typically we need to see we don't need to see the context of the question on questions like this with lots of big data tables, but on this one we did. So there you go, and if you have any questions, ask Mr. Stewart.